Hi everyone and happy festive Monday. We have a selection of Christmas tree ornaments, or baubles as we might call them, although we wouldn't call the star ones. Baubles are round or this sort of shape. Anyway, we have this selection from the planner to do, I'm going to say today, but it may take a while. Now in the book, Johanna's Christmas, where these come from, they're a lot larger. It's a little bit easier to deal with all the details, but some of these have the details are very small, so we may not be doing every single little tiny bit. I will make a decision as I go through each one. So let's make a start. I'm afraid the light is a bit glary. I don't know how bad it looks on camera, but it's really dark outside, so I've had to sort of put the main light on in the room. That has a bit of an impact on how it looks. Right, I am using my Black Widow's pencils just because they sharpen to a nice fine point, which is what we need with this, and a bit different as well. I am going to start with, where's the one I want? Here we go. The little loop ring and this bit. Now often that is in gold. Now gold is quite tricky to do. I usually mix a combination of colours, which is fine, but to do it with in such a small space, I'm going to actually do silver instead. I'm going to use my flat black. Within the Black Widow sets that I have, this flat black is from the Cobra set, by the way. Within the Black Widow set that I have, I don't have very many cold greys. So if you were using Prisma's Poly, something like that, we just use quite a dark cold grey or cool grey, but there aren't many here. So I'm just going to go along the edges of here where there would be a little bit of shadow, and at the top we're going to use a second grey, a second colour, a grey, but as I said, I have to start with black because I've only got two shades. My other shade is very pale, and it's from the skin tone set, and it's called Greythorn, and it's actually a sort of purpley bluey grey, I think, which is quite useful because it's obviously quite cold, the grey. I'm going to have to go and turn a light off in a minute, it's reflecting in the window. And I'm going to go over that black and extend it a little bit. Now we want some white paper showing through for shine. Now you can use a white pen to draw in the shine, but I feel that this looks a little bit better. I'm going to go all the way along the edge and leave a little bit in the middle of that and hope that works. Alternatively, you can use the silver pen or silver pencil. There's no metallic pencils in this particular set, but if you'd rather, you can do that. I find they give it a very different look, and that's absolutely fine. It just depends what you want. Now I may be using some metallic pens, but not for large areas. The idea is, we'll see. So anyway, that greythorn was from the skin, I think that's the dark, yeah, from the darker skin tone set. Right, so there is our top part. Now we have to decide on the actual colour of the bauble. Now we've got a lot of sections. So we've got our top and bottom, which is sort of, I think those two will be the same. We've got that little bit in there, and then the light. There's a lot going on. Now it's quite small. I don't want to make it overly complex, so I think I'm just going to go with my very traditional red and green colour for this one. Got loads of reds in the in my Black Widow sets. I've got the Cobra, the Black Widow, you know, the spider, and the scorpion and the skin tones, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reds, which is lovely. And I'm going to choose the blood red for this one. It doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is just do this section in red. I was thinking about maybe not colouring all the different bits different colours, but I'm going to have a go. There are lots of different ways you could do it. Yeah, I've got my new specs, which means I can see quite well, which is nice. Yeah, and I actually had my test yesterday to check out if there was a tear in my retina, and the optician said he thought it looked fine. He's going to get a second opinion just to be absolutely sure. But I have had checks before for that sort of thing, and they've always said that, so I think maybe it's just something they do just to be sure. But yes, so that was good, and my new spec prescription seems okay. I'm still getting used to it, to be honest. When I first put them on, it looked a bit blurry, and I was confused, but I think it was just me adjusting because I, you know, just put them on. Gosh, it's so windy today. Anyway, so that was all good. So that's the first sort of bit. I'm going to use a much darker red now. We have this one. Now be careful with this one. This is called the burgundy. It's like a dark red. Now I've got a piece of tape around the bottom. That is to remind me that this one, oh, it's just broken in my sharpener. And my sharpness for hangabouts. I just explained, is to remind me that when you put white pen on this one, it goes neon pink. So not to do that, so be careful. Yes, so be careful with the burgundy. This is from the Scorpion set. Oh, there's the word burgundy, I was trying to find it. And I'm just going to do a little bit on the edges. I can see where I've gone out the line there. Maybe I can't usually see that. Oh my, that wind. I went out to move the bins a little bit to let my husband could get out of the drive, and one of our neighbours, the lid had blown off their paper bin and the paper was blowing around. It was luckily only a couple of pieces, so I just picked it up. I didn't mind, it's only a little bit better than littering. Right, I'm going to go back to the blood red again and do a bit more here. It's a bit too pale. I do want it to look lighter in the middle, but not that light, so I'm just going to build up the colour a little bit more. It's quite nice to just do it gently, and then you can get to the point. Oh, the wind is whistling. I don't know what's whistling through. It's quite strange. Anyway, so just bringing that in a little, so we've got like a bit of a shine going on, hopefully. Now we've got this other bit. Gosh, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know whether I should. I looked at that at a glance. I thought it looks like a sort of, almost like a bit of a pair of lacy knickers. Where is my brain going this morning? Oops. Never mind. Let's do some green, I think. You know, I think it's got to be green. It's Christmas. I'm going to grab the Irish green from the Scorpion set. There we go. Oops. Irish green. I'm likely to start. See, the advantage with these older design that don't have the dipped ends. Whoops. See, these are the older ones without the dipped ends. The names are further down, so you don't sharpen them off. But anyway, I'm going to colour these bits. Now, if this is too finicky and fiddly for you, colour the whole of this. Ignore the loopy bits. If you're using the main book rather than the planner, then it might be a little bit bigger and more manageable anyway. But I'm not worrying about, I'm just colouring it quite intensely. I'm not worrying about any sort of shading or shadows. It's too difficult. What we might do is pop on some shine with a white. I think I'm going to do this in this colour too, this line. Again, I'm just filling it in, keeping it a bit easier for me. There we go. Same up here. I'm sort of doing it symmetrically. And sorry, my hand is creating a lot of shadow. There we go. And then these. All the way around. I feel like I should have started my Christmas videos a bit earlier because I've got so many ideas and not much time to go. But anyway, it doesn't matter. There's always next Christmas. Will I still be doing videos next Christmas? I hope so. Enjoy it. Right, now I want a dark green to do the rest. I'm just going to keep it green and red on this one. What should we use? What's that? No. What's that? That's a bit too... Oh, yeah, I might use the opal green actually. It's got a nice sharp point. This is from the Cobra set. That was caught my eye then. I just glanced out of the window and there's a really tall rose bush over my neighbour's garden. It's like comes up to the first floor of the house. It's not really a bush, it's just a one long stem really. So I'm just filling in these bits. As I say, if you've done this so that it's just one colour, it doesn't matter. I think that just gives it a little bit of depth somehow. I'm hoping it will look like these lighter bits are sort of almost like piping on top, if you know what I mean. Now with this bit, I'm going to do all the rest in this colour, but I'm going to try to fade it a bit so this sort of shine goes through as well. So for the edge ones, that's okay. We can keep that quite dark. But as we come in towards the middle, I want to fade it a bit. Yes, so the tall rose tree, it's got a really pretty pink rose on, and in the wind it was sort of blowing into my sight, so it caught my eye, this little glimpse of pink rose. It's beautiful. It's still quite dark out, so it sort of stands out a bit. Yeah, it's a yucky day. Trains are cancelled today. There's a strike. I'm not sure what they're striking over, to be honest. Usually pay, but people are saying, oh, but they're paid so much. But well, you know, however much people are paid, they still want to have a pay rise at times, you know. But I don't know, it might be working hours, sometimes that's a problem as well. I'm not sure, I haven't really looked into it too much. I just have to accept that that's what's happening, and we have to. So my poor husband was going to work from home this morning and then go into work later, and now he can't because he's got to drop one boy off in one place and one boy off in another place, and the one boy there's no bus, so he can't get in. Well, he could be really late. There is a bus, but it gets him in too late. The other boy really wanted a lift, and his attendance is really important to his grade, so he didn't want to risk not getting in. But they're both going to get a bus home. One of them's done that. No, neither of them have done that before. One of them's got a bus in, but not a bus home. The other one hasn't done buses. But so I've been through it all with them, and I think it's a really good exercise for them. I'm just going to wipe my nose, sorry, because it's worth learning. Now we are going to add a little bit of glitter. There are different ways we can do this. We can use a glitter pen, which is the easiest way. Or I have seen someone use lots of little white dots and they look like glitter. I'm not sure if that's going to work. I've never experimented with that, so I'm not going to try that today, but I'm just telling you the technique in case I forget to ever show you. It's something you could try. I would try it on a scrap piece of paper first, and it might not, because my glitter's going on my light green only. I'm going to use the number 700, the glitter glaze sort of pen, because it's only going on that. It's not going to show up so well with the white pen as if it would on a dark colour. So I'm going to just put it on all these light green bits to make it look like we've got a sort of just a glittered bit. I mean, I find this on baubles, I don't know if you do, that sometimes they have little bits with glitter on and not the whole thing. You could glitter the whole thing if you want to. I mean, it would add a nice bling, but I'm thinking we'll just try. I've gone out of the lines there. I'm not sure my new good specs are helping me really. They're not helping me stay in the lines, they're just helping me notice where I go out the lines. Never mind. I'm still getting used to them, to be honest. I keep trying to look underneath because My close vision was better when I looked underneath on my old pair, but this pair are better. I don't need to look underneath. Now you can't necessarily see that. I'm going to tip it. There you go, Nick. Glitter, glitter. Right, next. Oh, is that? Oh, I can't get that straight. There we go. I'm going to do the top in the same way. So we're going to start with our flat Cobra flat black. We'll do the light similarly to this, so we want the shine that way, even though it's that way. Sorry, that's made you go funny. Just so that it sort of matches. Maybe I should have done it the same. Never mind. Now, this one has so much detail on it that we're going to ignore the detail and do this one. Or are we? Just think. Yeah. I'm going to do, whoops. Let's go. There we go. I'm going to do a base colour over all of it and then pick out some of the detail with this one. I think that'll be easier. I'm thinking about colour. I'm wondering whether to stick with the same sorts of colours, red, green, all the way through. Whether to mix it up. I could do some golds, but yeah, let's do this one goldish. Let's give it a try. I challenge myself. So I need a dark brown to start with. I can use the dark chocolate. I can use the what's that one? Huntsman. I can use the chocotone or the mud. I'm going to use this one. This is the chocotone. This is from the dark skin tone. And I'm just going to knead it on the edge. So I'm going to make a gold, basically, for this one. I'm ignoring this pattern now. This pattern for me is a little bit too intricate. And I'm not too fond of it. I don't like necessarily saying that, but I'm just being honest with you. So I might just colour right over it and forget it's even there, or I might use a bit of pen to show up some of it. I'm not sure. I like the shape though. Well, these are all the same shape, aren't they? So there's our dark colour. I'm not I haven't done those. Think about those after. And now I need a sort of mid-brown. I'm looking around because I want something that isn't too orangey. I've got a dark chocolate. I think that's too brown. I think I'm gonna try using the Huntsman. No, that's too brown. The Tarantula's a bit orangey. Everything's quite orangey. I think the mud might be the one to go with. It's a bit broken. This is again from the dark skin tone. Oh, it's just broken. Hang on, I'm going to use my dowel sharpener. It's quite noisy, isn't it? But I find the dowel sometimes suits the Black Widows better. They're sometimes a bit breaky. So this is mud. We're going to go over that dark bit. Just to extend out. I don't know if it's really that much lighter. But never mind. Excuse me. I'll just go for it and see what happens. There we go. Now we need to go quite light. We've got like a leather or a those are too orangey. The brown bug is a bit orangey. I think the dark tan could be a good colour to try. Oh, I've got a lead in my sharpener, haven't I? Hang on. There we go. Maybe I should just be using my dowel. I don't know why this one's suddenly breaking today. There we go. So dark tan. It's not that dark, but it might just be a good colour for us. So going over what we've done and just putting colour more towards the centre of our bauble. Now this video is long. I think this is going to be a longer series. There's so much to do on this page. I'm not feeling gold here yet, are you? It's looking a bit brown. What I need to find is a goldish tone. Now something with a bit more yellow in. We do have, what's that one called? That's called Nugget. That might work, but I'm thinking this egg yolk is quite a good one. What should we use? Yeah, I think we'll use the egg yolk. The egg yolk is a slightly orangey yellow from the spider set, and I think that's going to lift it. We don't have a sort of goldish colour, so we're going to have to use our yellows to lift the whole thing. And hopefully start to produce that shiny look that I'm after. Just trying to go over everything really. To start with, bring it in a bit. And I'm going to actually go over with the nugget. Oops. The nugget is from the Cobra set. I think it's a similar-ish shade. But I just want a little bit more. Wow, that wind. I don't know if you can hear it. The weather's been a bit iffy lately. It's very rainy, and now we've got wind. There's floods in places. It's not good at the minute. It's a little bit scruffy. I'm going to get the mud and just rework some of that darker brown a little bit. Just try to fade it in a bit better along here. Yours might look better than mine. I'm just trying to get rid of, like here, there seems to be, it's not such a neat edge. But I think we're nearly there. I'm going to leave it like that. Now, we need those 3 or 4 little dots, and I'm actually going to just do them in the greythorn, our light grey, as if they're part of the hanger. They don't look like they're part of that to me. Okay, now what are we going to do with all our lines and dots? Well, I'm thinking we could just go over it with either, let's do glitter. Let's keep consistent and do a glitter pen. This is a yellow glitter pen, a gold glitter pen. This is number 703, and I'm actually just going to go over the top of all of the lines with this glitter, gold glitter. I might fill in those dots, they're a bit small. It's a bit finicky, and you'll need a steady hand, which I don't really have. I'm just going for it. I'm going to fill in those, get those shapes, I think. I used to think that putting gold on top of, where I tried to make a pencil gold and then I was putting a pen gold on top, I used to think that was an unwise idea because it would show up that my gold didn't look quite as good as a pencil gold, as a pen gold sort of thing. But I think it's fine now. I've done it a few times, I've seen other people do it, and I've decided that it's fine. Now you may not be able to see what I'm doing and whether it looks any good anyway at this point. But anyway, we'll see. Yeah, I was colouring yesterday, so I had eye drops in, and what the drops do is they open your pupils up so the optician is better able to see inside your eye, which makes sense. There you go, look. Right, we're going to move on to this one. And so I had these drops in, and I flat black, and I came home and I decided to just get on and do a bit of colouring anyway, because I couldn't look at my screen. Bright lights really hurt. So, bit of greythorn. So I was doing that, and then it took quite a few hours for my... So this bit looks to me like it's part of the hanger. So I'm going to go back to my flat black and colour that in. I'm going to ignore those teardrop shaped bits, they're just too small. So yeah, I came back and did this colouring, and then I looked at it after a few hours and was like, it was okay. I had to go over a few bits. Greythorn, but was surprisingly okay, considering everything was blurry and bright. My Christmas lights looked amazing. Now, I don't know if any of you have an astigmatism, but when you have that and you look at a light, you can see streaks of light coming out of the light. It doesn't just look like a glow. It's very difficult to describe. Often when you see photos of blurred lights, that's what it looks like. So I had this going on with in my vision. I'm choosing colour. I need to concentrate. Hang on. Should we just do it a completely different colour? I'm thinking I'd like purple. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my grape from my Cobra set to do the background. And I'm going to do it very similar to this one, where I sort of faded it into the middle and then try and ignore these shapes and not colour over them. Wish me luck. So I'm going to layer it up more on the edge and then try and fade it towards the centre. Yes, so when you have an astigmatism, the lights have sort of... And this was like astigmatism on steroids. So my fairy lights looked like they had petals coming out of them that were like about 30 petals out of each light. They were absolutely beautiful, and I was like, if only I could capture that, but you can't. I was like, you know, I'd love to be able to take a photo of it, but of course what I would see out of the camera would not be what I was seeing out of my eyes. It was absolutely gorgeous, and all the colours were extra bright. It was lovely. Walking home was not fun though, because the sun was shining. It's like we've had rainy days for weeks, and then suddenly the day when I need it to be dark, the sun is shining away and my eyes, so because your pupil can't close, it's sort of forced open, then the bright light really hurts. So they do advise you to wear sunglasses, but I don't have any, so I had to put my hand on my forehead to sort of shelter my eyes from the sun, and then walk looking down at the pavement, which was a bit odd, but I managed to get home without walking into anyone, so that's the best thing. And I managed to cross roads safely, because I could have taken a boy with me because they were home, but they had loads to do. Actually, I got home, my son was like, "Oh, can you proofread my essay?" I was like, "I don't, you'll have to read it out to me, I can't see." But we just waited a little bit and then I could see it and helped him. It's nice to be able to help them, because, and it's nice that they ask me for help. You know, some kids don't ask their parents because their parents aren't willing to help them, or because they, I don't know, they don't have a close relationship, or they know parents don't have the time or whatever. Not all parents have the time, that's fine. And I never used to ask my parents because my mum always said she couldn't help me and she didn't know, which frankly I think she did know and she could do it, but she had a lack of confidence. She wasn't lying, she just didn't think that she could do it, if you know what I mean. But I think she was much brighter than she gives herself credit for. I try and tell her that. You know, she's like, but I was always in the A stream, i.e. the top set in school. It's like, well, yeah, you were bright. But anyway, she just didn't continue in her education. So she, this looks a bit messy, doesn't it? Let's go over that a bit. She left school when, like, their school, I think, went to 16 or 14, can't remember. 16 maybe, but she left school and she had to go to work. You know, there was no option for going to college in her household. You had to go to work and start earning. And although she did a sort of apprenticeship, I think, I don't know if they called it that, but she went to college partially and to work at the same time, which here would be called an apprenticeship these days. My dad did an apprenticeship in engineering and went to work and college at the same time as well. And they were dating even back then. They started dating when they were 12 and 13. It's quite amazing, I think. Okay, so we've got our purple base, and I'm thinking these items need to stand out. I was going to do them another shade of purple, but I feel that that's not going to be bright enough. I have gone over the lines a fair bit anyway. I'm going to do them a pink, I think. Now I've got a lot of pinks because I've got the skin tones and things, but I'm thinking that this bubble gum is sort of really fluorescent. Might be a bit red. No, yeah, I think that's a bit red. I'm going to change my mind and go for this one, which is the delicious pink. Is that a bit orange? I'm gonna, oh dear, indecisive person. Right, this is the one. Fancy pink. I think that's gonna work. Definitely. Right, so let's do these bits first. You could do this in pen if you'd rather. They're quite fine, and actually if you've gone over the lines a lot, which I have, but I'm not gonna fuss about it, you might prefer to do this in a gel pen, in a pink glitter gel pen, because then it will hide the way you've gone over the lines, but you'll have to try not to go over the lines onto the purple. There we go. Now for these bits, I think I'm going to try and make it a little more intense here and then fade it in. That will not only match the sort of fade that we've tried to create with the purple, but it will also create a little bit more interest within this pattern. Might not quite work there, but we'll see. I'll try it and see what it looks like when I'm done with all three of them. Till I've done it with all of them, won't be entirely sure. Excuse me. It's nearly coffee time, I think. Right. I think I'm going to grab a pink glitter pen in a minute if I'm satisfied with how this looks. And I'm trying to fade it a little bit towards the middle as well as towards the edges. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'm going to grab the pink glitter pen. Now, which is the pink one? This one, or is it this one? I think that's the purpley pink. That's the light pink. I'll go for the lighter pink. It is number 720. These are my Sakura Stardust Gellyroll, and I'm just going to go over the lines with this if I can. Not particularly accurate, but as I say, if you prefer, you could go over the whole of this with it. But I just want a little highlight. Now this is going to be I'm not going to do that one. I don't think I'm going to be able to stick to the line, so I'm going to actually do that one differently. Like that, and around this one. Like a little scallop, aren't they? My husband told me I should do a background on this page. I don't know what he had in mind, but I'm not. Okay, and I'm going to use the clear one, the 700, for these ones, because I don't think it. I think I would just, because they're so narrow, I think if I tried to go over the lines with my pink glitter, it would just wouldn't work very well. There we go. There is that one. Let me tip it so you can see. So it's got a bit of a shine. The pink one isn't really showing up as well. it did come out, but it's not showing up. And now we have this one, again, quite a complex one. I think we need to use a different colour because, you know, we've got red and green and our gold and our pink. And so I'm thinking, are we going to go blue? Blue might be the way to go. Yeah. So we could do all blues. Let's start with our black and our silver for the top. So I'm going to, as on the others, like that, maybe a little bit here, and then this one, I think I'm gonna go like that, and then the greythorn. Greythorn seems nice, silvery colour, I think. There's all the other greys in this set. I don't know what I was thinking there. Really shiny. All of the other greys in the set are quite brown. So the charcoal and the even the platinum. Is it called platinum? I don't think it is. The one in the spider web, that's it. Platinum is a chroma flow pencil. I don't know what I'm talking about. Now, in these spaces, I'm going to use the greythorn. Just try and leave a lighter bit in the middle. I think it might be that it's supposed to be seeing the bauble through the gap, but there's a line going up there and we can't see that through there, so I've just simplified it for myself. Okay, blues, where should we start? I quite like a darkish blue. Let's use the galaxy blue. This is from the Scorpion set. And do these sort of panels all around the outside. And I think the best thing to do with these is to sort of fade them slightly as we go in. I'm thinking about that this will probably be 3 videos because we've got 3 rows and this is taking ages. I think the next ones might not take quite so long because they're a little bit, seem a bit simpler, but I don't know, and the last row look even more complicated, so we'll see. But you could, I'm trying to think what day that is. On my Advent pictures, you know, my Agatha Pop Christmas countdown that I've been doing, there is a bauble picture on there. I think it's really near the end, so you won't have seen it yet. Yeah, it's in the bottom row. And I coloured that really plain. And that is an option. I guess a bit like the gold one here, where but you could do it even simpler with just one pencil. This is messy, isn't it? I think I need a sharper pencil, that's why. Okay. I'm also leaning on the rings, which, you know, is my pet hate, but can't be helped. It's odd how planners are spiral bound and none of the other books are. I'm glad the other books aren't. I know some people wish they were. But, right, I want an even darker blue now, and I'm looking, we've got a Starry Night, but that, I don't think that's darker. What's this one? With the Zephyr blue. I think this is like almost indigo-y black. And I want to do these. I'm going to layer this up so that we can see that it's dark. Now really, if this was much bigger, you would want to do some shadow under these because they're sort of on top. But it's not, it's small, so we've got to just do a little bit. I've decided I want this bit to be this colour too. Ow, my finger's getting crushed on the ring. Yeah, it's I used to have only one boy out on a Thursday morning and one home all day on a Thursday. But his Friday seminar, the teacher just said only 7 of them were turning up. And his teacher in the end said, look, there's so many people not turning up to this one, and there are people not turning up to the others on Thursdays. I want you to just go to the Thursday one. I'm going to go back to my Galaxy Blue. I'm just going to tidy up a little bit. You may not need to. I'm just feeling that it's a little bit messy. So he's got to go to a Thursday seminar instead, and his brother's still got his full Thursday morning. Means they're both out at the same time on a Thursday morning, which is quite nice because it gives me a bit of recording time. Now, in this, I sort of almost feel like it's dipped inside, like this is a gap. Some baubles have that sort of design. I think that's going to be quite difficult to try and do with me limiting myself to blue. So I think I'm going to ignore that. And I'm just going to grab a different blue and colour away. So I'm going to now use the Blue Horizon from the Scorpion set. I'm not sure what shade of blue this actually is. Oh, that's pretty. Really should have a swatch chart with me when I'm recording. But you know, I can just wing it, have some fun, make mistakes, see what happens. Now, to emphasise the shine on the bauble, you could put some white pen on them, sort of there or here. I can't do this because some of the pencils I've used, only one of them actually, don't like, oh look, I've gone over the line. Just going to use my eraser. Whoops. I just tried to pull off that bit of there and I pulled it out of the pen. It's quite comical. That's why I went, whoop. Doesn't really want to rub off, does it? Do my best, there we go. Oh, it's half expecting a call from my husband soon to tell me he's dropped the children off. He has a habit of calling me. Actually, he's got a phone call, a work call to make, so he might be doing that instead. Yeah, he does have a habit of calling me a lot, but he also, obviously work takes priority, as it does with all men. I don't know whether women who, sort of career women, sort of have work taking over, but I get the impression that men who don't, men with families seem to fixate on work more than their family. Oh, it's fascinating. He said, yesterday he said, I had a dream. He said, I was dreaming that I was doing work and blah, and my boss was working so hard. And I'm thinking, it's interesting because I work really hard, I think, in my opinion, but I don't get, he doesn't sort of credit me with that. It's like, you know, oh, that's just your thing. This is blue heaven. I guess possibly Scorpion, because I choose to, a lot of the work I do, I choose to do. I don't have to do it. Whereas, you know, she has to because that's her job, sort of thing. I don't know. It was just a bit odd. I mean, obviously it was a dream, so, but it's sort of, I felt he's always saying how hard she's working and stuff, you know. Oh, there's my telephone. Right, I am back. Yes, husband on the phone. Ooh, I think I was doing that one. Is that right? Yeah. Getting confused and lost. Yeah, he was telling me he's dropped one son off, but they're stuck in traffic for the other one. but one of them, they both have to, their attendance matters, but one of them has a grade. They lose marks if they don't have a good attendance. The other one doesn't, but they have a sort of disciplinary if they don't turn up to a certain amount of classes. But if they're late, it's okay. As long as, yeah, so hopefully he'll be on time anyway. But I mean, he's phoned me and he's still got 15 minutes before his class starts. It would be a shame if he's late, because he could have got a bus and been late. But anyway, he chose to not get a bus, so I guess that's his decision. I did suggest it, but he didn't want it, so it's nothing to do with me. Anyway, this is Forget Me Not, which is a Black Widow pencil. Well, obviously they're all Black Widows, but from the Black Widow Spider set. I think, yeah, this was the, like, it's really similar, isn't it? I'm going to do it a little harder so that we can see the difference between it and the other colour. There we go. Yeah, the Black Widow set was the original set, I think. Then, I don't know if the Scorpion or Cobra came out next. Then we had, I don't know when the Skin Tones came out either. Hang on, I'm just going to brush those bits away. But we had the what was it? The Scorpion and Cobra set, and then the Monarch, and then the Dragon. That's right. I don't have the Monarch or the Dragon set, but I've got plenty. I think I've got quite a good collection. If I had any more, I would need to pop them in a pencil case, or else I wouldn't be able to spread all the tins out on my desk. There we go. I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to do, what should I do? I'm trying to decide, excuse me, I've gone all hoarse, I need to go and get a coffee, whether to do some blue glitter or some clear glitter. I think I might do clear glitter again. So this is the number 700, and I'm just going to go, I think, over these bits, not this big bit, just these little ones, like that. Oh, I say like that, you probably can't see. And then these sort of loopy bits as well. Now with glitter, it's always tricky. How much do you do when you stop? I think it's quite a personal taste thing. It's not working, there we go. They clog a little bit, all glitter pens do, because sometimes a bit of glitter gets in the roller. But if you just scribble it a bit, it loosens it. And you can scribble it on what you're doing, but you might want to use a little bit of scrap paper. There we go. Now I'll just tip that up so you can see the glitter and the shine. There you go. Okay, so that's all for today. I say that's all for today. That's an awful lot for today. But we've got our first four ornaments or baubles, whatever you like to call them. So there we go with their glitter. Let me just tip them so you can see the glitter. There we go, there's the glitter, just in case you want to see that. Of course you don't have to use the glitter. So yes, this is definitely going to be a 3-part one. We should do the star-shaped ornaments tomorrow, and then the round baubles on Wednesday. Don't know what the day comes after what, but there we go. Anyway, I'm off for a coffee. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again, and happy colouring.